Sleeping less than 7 hours a night raises the risk of dying by any cost by 14%. Not slightly elevated, not marginally higher. 14%. And if you are on 5 hours or less of sleep, that risk goes up to 22%. This is not just random data, folks. This is a conclusion derived from a 2025 meta-analysis which looked into 79 other studies and over 1 million people. I'm Dr. Bibhusan Basnet, an internal medicine board-certified physician practicing in the US for the last 10 years. And the research on sleep and mortality has become impossible to ignore. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through what short sleep exactly does to your body, who is at risk, and what you can do about it. Stay with me because this is just not about hitting a number on a tracker. This is about how long you can actually live. Most of us have heard that we need 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but the research has got a lot more specific than that. 7 hours. That is the number that keeps coming across several last studies we have so far. Not 8, not 9, 7. Across multiple studies, followed in large group of people and mapped what happens to mortality risk as the sleep drops. If you have 6 hours or less of sleep, you are at a 10% or higher risk of dying. If you have 5 hours of sleep, 22% higher. 4 hours or less of sleep, 46% higher risk of dying. Every hour matters here, folks, and it builds over years. This UK Biobank study used actual risk trackers on real people, and it confirmed the same thing. Sleeping 5 hours was linked to a 29% higher risk of dying early compared to sleeping 7. And there's also one thing that this data showed that most people do not want to hear. Too much of sleep is also a problem. 9 hours or more of sleep is linked to a 34% increase in mortality risk, even higher than the shorter sleep. So why does sleeping less cut years from your life? It is just not one thing. It is several things working against you at the same time. First one is your heart. When you are sleep deprived, your sympathetic nervous system stays switched on when it should be rested. Blood pressure rises. In older adults, even short-term sleep restriction can push systolic blood pressure by around 13 points. That's a huge number when it comes to high blood pressure. The blood vessels that should be recovering overnight never fully get the chance to relax. Second is your metabolism. Short sleep drives up the risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. And this is just not association. Studies using Mendelian randomization have confirmed this, that short sleep actually causes these problems, not just predict them. Third one is inflammation. Immune markers rise when you are chronically sleep deprived. Inflammatory signals goes up, and over time this contributes to the quiet buildup of plaque inside the arteries. Think of it like a slow leak in a pipe. One night of bad sleep, your body handles it. But 2 nights of bad sleep, your body might handle it. But years of bad sleep, and the damage builds silently. Here is something that gets lost when we talk about sleep hours. Quality matters as much as quantity. You can spend 7 hours in bed and still wake up exhausted. Fragmented sleep, frequent waking up, or never reaching the deep sleep stages all block the repair your body is supposed to do overnight. The honest question is to ask yourself, do I feel reasonably rested during the day? Do I sleep throughout the night without any major disruption? Or can I stay awake throughout the day without nodding out? If the answer to all of the 3 questions is a yes, you're probably fine. If not, the number on your sleep tracker is only a part of the picture. Now, I want to talk about 3 specific groups of people for whom better sleep is just not a wellness recommendation. This is very critical. Stay along with me. Group 1. Young adults. Most people assume sleep is something to worry about later in life. The thinking is backwards. A 36-year follow-up study found that the mortality impact of short sleep was strongest in younger adults more than older adults. Young adults sleeping 5 hours or less had a mortality risk nearly 3 times higher than those at optimal sleep. Not 3%, nearly 3 times, folks. Because the damage is cumulative. Chronic short sleep in your 20s and 30s just does not cost you today. It builds into long-term cardiovascular and metabolic risk over decades. Group 2. Women. The relationship between sleep and mortality is not the same for men and women. A Swedish study found out that women sleeping under 5 hours had a 54% higher all-cause mortality risk for men at the same sleep duration. The increase was around 5%. Researchers believe that there are hormonal differences, how sleep deprivation affects metabolism differently between the sexes, and differing physiological responses to chronic stress all contribute to this gap. But if you are a woman consistently getting sleep under 6 hours, this is a conversation worth having and with your doctor. Group 3. Night shift workers. This is a group most health content ignore, but the data is significant. Night shift work is linked to a 6% increase in all-cause mortality and a 15% increase in cardiovascular death. But here is what most people do not know. Working night shifts for 20 to 30 cumulative years doubles your risk of dying from a cardiovascular disease. So it's not just about missing one sleep or two sleep. It's about fighting your circadian rhythm for years. Your internal clock controls your hormone release, cell repair, blood pressure cycles. When your sleep time chronically conflicts with your biology, your body pays a real price over time. The good news is that sleep is one of the most changeable health behaviors. There are a few things you can consider. I've tried this personally and they definitely help. Number 1, consistency. That comes first. Going to bed and waking at the same time every day, including weekends, is the single most evidence-based thing you can do. Your body runs on a clock. Help it stay on a schedule. Keep your room dark and cool. Your body needs to drop its core temperature slightly to enter and stay in deep sleep. A cool, dark room really can help you sleep. Number 3, caffeine. You got to cut your caffeine after midday, folks. Caffeine has a half-life of around 6 hours. A coffee at 3 in the afternoon is still half active in a system at 9 p.m. at the night. So you know now when to stop your coffee and wind down before bed. It is just not about the screen brightness. It's about mental arousal. Engaging content keeps your brain switched on when it needs to be screwing down. And stop obsessing about the number of hours of sleep. Anxiety about sleep is itself one of the biggest causes of bad sleep. If you feel rested, functional, and clear-headed throughout the day, your sleep is doing its job. You have to know that. But if you are sleeping consistently under 6 hours, waking up exhausted every single morning, or you fall into one of those 3 groups I just covered, please take it seriously. This is a medical conversation, not a lifestyle recommendation. If this has changed how you think about your sleep even a little, share it to someone who stays up late thinking they're fine. Subscribe to eHealthyinfo for more clear, science-backed health content.